Good morning, everybody. This is Wagner Nolasco from Build to Rent Direct, and this is one of my most special shows today. I have here Mr. Dale Brisby, the good old son. Welcome, Dale.
Yeah, it's good to be here. Yes, sir, Wagner. Thanks for having me.
Thank you very much. And my dear friend, Jeremy. Jeremy, how you doing? From Turnkey Custom Homes, and he is also a big syndicator in Texas. My personal friend. We spent a week together in Belize during a seminar very recently. Very proud to be your friend. I'm very proud of you, man, of your success, your syndications, and everything you have done for a lot of different investors. And you guys are changing lives. And that's what we want to talk about it today is how cowboys and cowgirls are smarter than Wall Street people. This is what we're going to cover today. And we're going to use real life examples like you guys. And just to let you know, look at this guy. Woo! That's how you do it now?
Well, Dale, yeah, the old hat flick.
All right. I'm learning. I'm a Brazilian in learning progress here. So I'm going to start with you, Dale, if I may. Can you tell me a little bit about yourself? We all have heard and watched your Netflix show. It's absolutely amazing. You know,
the cowboy life is about tradition. We are self-reliant and answer to no one.
Yes, Mom.
Can you tell your mom I said hi?
Welcome to Radiator Ranch.
There's a lot to learn from our way of life, so you may as well learn it from the best.
The one and only Dale Brisby.
I love it. You are the real deal. So tell us a little bit about you, Dale Brisby. How did you get to become this such amazing guy, one of the biggest cowboys in the world, and as well as, you know, one of the biggest influencers for people that wanted to make the next step and really show their roots, their true colors. So tell me a little bit about yourself, if you don't mind.
Yeah, so, man, I've been riding bulls and punching fools since day one. Grew up in ranching and rodeo and, you know, the greatest bull rider of all time and the most humble. But around 2013, I kind of took my ranching knowledge, rodeo knowledge, and then my desire to make people laugh, and we put it on YouTube. So we put our first video out in 2013, and we built a brand. I made a lot of videos for a couple of years. I didn't even know how to monetize a video on YouTube. And after a couple of years of putting out entertaining videos, we started a brand called Rodeo Time. And it was an apparel brand. I actually rodeoed with Jeremy. So Jeremy and I were traveling partners, as we like to call it. And I had always had a desire to get into real estate. Jeremy was kind of the picture of that, and he bought a place, and then he saved up some money, bought another place, and rented that one behind him. I'll let him get into his story, but he was a picture of an example of me of what I wanted to be in real estate. Well, real estate deals just weren't working out for me at the time. And so I just kept doing what I was doing, and that was make interesting videos on the internet and build this apparel brand, you know, all the while I'm rodeoing with Jeremy. And after 8 years of really grinding it out on social media, you know, we've built, in my mind, a substantial brand in the Western industry, at least one compared to what I was, you know, the way I was making a living before. And I remember at one point I came across a little chunk of money, and I was like, it was before Jeremy and I really knew what syndication was, but I was like, this has been maybe 6 years ago. And I was like, Jeremy, take this money and do what you do with real estate, and then just give me a small percentage of it.
Shut up and take my money.
And we didn't really know what we were doing at the time. Well, anyways, fast forward a couple more years, and we learned what syndication was, and Jeremy, you know, put a deal together, and I got to invest with him. And it was all because, you know, I had hustled my deal on the side, and Jeremy provided a way for me to invest in real estate where I could still do my thing, you know. And don't get me wrong, I've got a few rent houses on the side, but you know, my first big deal was with Jeremy, and so I kept doing what I was doing, and that allowed me to now have a Netflix show called How to Be a Cowboy. So, and trying to kind of bring it full circle with like my story mixed with, while we're all here, which is real estate, that's kind of what it is. I've essentially every single day, I just jump out here in front of a camera and I teach people how to be a cowboy like I do on Netflix. But Jeremy, being a good syndicator, has provided me an opportunity to invest in my future.
That's huge, guys. What you just heard Dale say is really what happened to me as well, right? I wouldn't be where I am without real estate in my life, really. I mean, and Jeremy, we have created a friendship. I have never done a syndication, even though I participated in some very large deals. I have done over 400 flips myself, and we have over 3,000 lots that are under construction right now. But, I never done a syndication. So, you have to partner up and follow people that have done it before. And Jeremy has done a ton of them successfully. He's a custom home builder as well as a syndicator. So Jeremy, if I misspell your name or mispronounce your name, don't punch me. I am a fool, but don't punch me. Melancon, Jeremy Melancon, or how do you pronounce it?
Man, Rodeo teaches you that any way somebody pronounces your last name is fine. Melancon, Melancon, McClunkin, I've been called it all. Actually, if you look in Dale's phone, my name's under Melancon because that's how Procom's automated service would say my name. It would say Jeremy Melancon. So two other traveling partners that we rodeoed with, Jacobson, Sterling, Crawley, were our brothers, and don't let any good joke go by. So as soon as they heard that, Sterling took my password, logged into my account, changed my first name to Melancon. So then when I showed up to Cheyenne Frontier Days, they announced my name as Melancon Melanson. So I've pretty much been called anything.
Yeah. So Jeremy and I, we have a history. We participate in some mentoring club together, and we're very proud to actually follow some of the leaders in the industry. But Jeremy, I really want to dive in because after Dale has actually said what he did about you and how you changed his life on your footsteps, you actually led. You actually are kind of a guy that you don't talk only. You walk the walk, and you actually live by a legacy, and you actually put that into your life. So that's what we want to find, really, how can you motivate people? What is a syndication? How do you do this? Can you tell me a little bit about what you guys doing and in Texas particularly, and what's your goal? What have you done? So amazing.
Yeah, man. So our relationship started out with Rodeo. We rodeoed together. I say all the time that rodeo breeds entrepreneurship because, you can't work Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and you need about 2.5 months off during the summer. So if you look at the list of jobs that allows you to go after, it's a pretty short list. So, you figure out some other way to supplement that income as you're rodeoing. You're riding at a professional level, but it's all entry fee. It's all what you earn or what you win. It's all on a merit system. It has nothing to do. There's no salaries, no anything. So you have to win to be paid. So, at some time in your career, you're going to find some way to bring money in that still allows you to keep continuing rodeoing. So for me, that was real estate. It was getting into houses to flip. It was getting into houses to rent. It didn't take me long to realize that I'd much rather own them than sell them and have to start over each time. But we weren't doing a big volume, but a need that was arising was during college, we lived in a little house on about 13 acres for not much money a month, right? And those were common in our area because our area was a little more rural, but it was growing very rapidly because it's only about, really it's only about 30 minutes from the outskirts of Houston. So, we're a little farther from downtown, but we're not really that far from the sprawling area. So our area is growing at such a rapid pace that those places that our rodeo team members would rent and live at were disappearing. They were selling to owner occupants, right? So those opportunities of, rent this house, have a place to keep your horse, it was disappearing. And we had over an 80-member rodeo team at Sam Houston when I went to school there. So in 2011, we won the national title, and in 2012, we won the reserve national title.
Black Mama the Bucking Horse.
I was recognizing that the other members on the rodeo team were having a really hard time finding places to live. So that's what we targeted, were 2-3 acre places with a little barn and a house, or we would retro it or build a barn or whatever we needed to do. Well, that ultimately grew into, hey, let's put 20 acres together. Let's build a multifamily facility where we can have the arena, like-minded people, gated community, bring it in together. But I had no idea really how to do it. And so I started off, slow and doing them, 1 or 2 buildings at a time, and just kind of learning as I went. Never have developed anything before. Really hadn't built anything from the ground up. We had only remodeled homes. And my partner at the time was like, hey, it's just as easy to build. I was like, okay, so when we started building, we had people just pulling in the driveway saying, hey, we can't find anybody either, basically, and learned that it was a real need in the area. So, I ran to the dollar store, got some letters, sanded an old real estate sign down, stuck, we build houses in the driveway so people could have my phone number, and that's where turnkey came from. So that's where the custom home building side, it actually came after the investment side, but I had no idea what a syndication was. And as soon as I went to an event, Secrets of Successful Syndication, that the real estate guys put on, and it opened my mind to this world that was out there that didn't have these limitations on it. Right. So Dale was my first phone call, and I was like, hey, you're talking about investing. Let's do this. He's like, hey, opportunity at the ground sounds good to me. So we called that the Grounds of Huntsville, added on to that. It's now a 42 unit complex. Like I said, rope and arena. It gives the students somewhere, and anybody can live there, but predominantly student based, somewhere to practice, somewhere to live with their horses, safe community. And that just kind of opened the world up of building and investing. Now that we've moved into more syndications, we're working on a fund. We've closed the fund. There's nothing open right now, but we're putting together a portfolio of single family homes, whether they were acquired or we're doing a build to rent. And that's why I like spending time with somebody like you that has done the developments, have done the volume. I haven't done, a ground up platted subdivision yet. I haven't papered any lots, any things like that. So, I think it's really important to stay around people that you can learn and grow from all the time. And, if you can offer anything up, great. And that's been basically me and Dale's relationship is, I feel like we've both tried to add value to each other, more importantly than what we get out of the other. So it's just been a really good relationship so far.
Let me just say to you guys that I have seen the pictures and the video of your ranch, and we're going to put it on the description below. So if you guys want to take a look, and also, of course, Dale's show on Netflix, which is Chichi. I love that guy. I love you, Dale. You guys are kicking behinds. I'm not going to say a lot of words here. Jeremy, you guys are doing amazing. So just click on both links, watch Dale's video on Netflix, How to Be a Cowboy, and also Jeremy, your properties as well in your link. What I can tell you is developing is a total different animal, right? I'm actually developing a property right now, which is called Benna Oaks. It's 107 acres, 419 single family homes, all for rent. And, there's a lot of work. What people don't realize is it took us almost 24 months by the time that we purchased the land, that we entitled the land, that we permit the land to actually start building houses. So it's a long process. It's very expensive, and we're nobody without partners, right? We need you, the investors, the real estate developers, the builders, the team out there that actually wants to get into real estate so you guys can understand and not make a mistake. I have made a lot of mistakes in my life. Hopefully, I won't be able to make them again because I follow people that actually have done it before. And, I have a lot under my belt, which prevents actually a lot of mistakes from happening. But partner up with people that are smarter than you. That's what I tell you. Don't try to be the know-it-all. It's hard. It's not easy, especially because real estate is local. If I go to Texas, I'm going to fail. Simple as that, right? Unless I have Jeremy and Dale there that are partners that know the area, that know the subcontractors, that know the city officials, that can actually take it to the next level. Same here in Florida. If you guys come here, it's going to take a hard time to learn on how to do this unless you have a local partner. But let's just go a little bit deeper here into our conversation. I just want to touch base that God stopped making land a long time ago. And that's why I love cowboys, not because I wanted to be one of you guys when I was a little young guy, but actually the largest landowners in this country are cowboys. So we have Joe Malone, which is nicknamed the Cable Cowboy. He owns 2.2 million acres of land in the US, the largest landowner in the US, and he's called the Cable Cowboy. And then we have also a farmer family, which is a Singleton family, that actually owns the oldest ranch in the country. And they actually own a total of 1.1 million acres of land. So you guys, even though coming from a very humble essence, right, a very hardworking essence, you realize very, very young and in generations in the past how important the land is, because land will never lose its value. Actually, we can go through a tough time and the prices may come down, but you only lose if you sell it. And real estate, just want to let you guys know, is the only actually asset you can leverage. If I need to buy $250,000 worth of stocks, I need $250,000 worth of Bitcoins or cash or whatever you want to call it. If I want to buy $250,000 of real estate, I can probably leverage that in 20 to 25%. So with the same $250,000 of cash or Bitcoins or whatever you want to call it, I can buy $1 million worth of real estate. You can leverage, you have tax advantages in your benefit. So there's nothing better, at least I believe. I want to ask you guys a little bit about, your experience, Dale, investing with Jeremy. I think you said already this is part of your future. How was your experience as an investor, as a passive investor? Were you a co-GP, a general partner, or just an investor on the syndication? Were you an active or passive investor?
Well, I think with the syndication, it was, technically passive. I'm trying to work towards active and being, a real estate professional. And so I think this year I would absolutely qualify as a real estate professional for those of you that, are following those rules and regulations. But essentially, when it comes to making a decision about investing with someone like Jeremy, to me, it's the number one prerequisite of any deal. It doesn't matter to me. It doesn't matter the market. It doesn't matter how nice the house is. It doesn't matter how many people want to live in it. It's all about investing in people. I've got locally, I live around a town called Graham, Texas. So Jeremy's in Huntsville, Texas, and I live about 4.5 hours away. I live outside of town called Graham, Texas. And my warehouse manager has lived here her whole life. Her name is Lisa. She's lived in a lot of rent houses. She's owned a couple of rent houses, and she knows everybody. Her best friend is a realtor, and she's the top realtor in this county. I think I'm partially to blame for that. But the reason why I invest in Graham is because of Lisa, my warehouse manager, the people. So it's great that Dallas Fort Worth might be a great market. It's great that Houston might be a great market, or wherever, Kansas City, Missouri. But I'm not going to go to those markets if I don't have someone that I trust. For instance, Jeremy and Lisa, they could write checks out of my account. They're signees on my account. That's how much I trust them. But not only just a trust factor of like them as a person morally, but also I trust their abilities and their decision-making skills, to where if something doesn't work with either one of these two individuals in my life, well, it probably wasn't going to work regardless, So it's not something where I can then turn around and place blame on them. But it's more so, once I understand that person enough, and it's not that I shouldn't do my research, because as an entrepreneur, you've got to learn to take accountability and responsibility for everything. I'm trying to take responsibility for the weather. And so when it comes to, but regardless, if you're going to scale anything, a company, real estate, any of it, you've got to first invest in people. So, that's why I would be interested in looking at your deals, Wagner, is because, you and I have only met a couple of times, but I can tell, it's the start of laying a foundation to someone who could be on my team like a Jeremy or a Lisa.
Dale, and I'm just going to say this, and I say this all the time. It's like you're reading my mind or I'm reading your mind. We don't do business with business. We do business with people. right?
100%.
People relate to people. They want to look you in the eye. They want to shake your hand. They want to hug you. They want to touch you. They want to really feel that you're real. They want to visit. That's the beauty about real assets, inventory, real estate. You can touch. You know, you have concrete block, you have dirt, you have grass, you have whatever. It's real assets, and I love that. The same thing, we build relationships for life. That's one of my mottos in life, is we build relationships for life. I don't want to sell you anything. You know, you're educated enough, you know what you want to buy. You know, if I have the right product and you trust and we build this relationship, we will have a long-term relationship. So, you know, we have a lot of investors that are very seasoned and very intelligent, like you guys, that are probably watching and listening to us on our podcast right now. But you know, I'm going to start with you, Jeremy, right now. What is any advices, books, or anything that you have heard that really changed your life as far as real estate investment and financial freedom that you would like to share with people today? And then, of course, Dale, you're more than welcome to jump right in and leave your 10 cents as well.
Yeah, you know, I think that advice is kind of the same whether you're looking at being a passive investor or an active investor. Is really get around people mainly. You know, we learn more by doing than we do by any other medium, I feel like. And second to actually doing or partnering directly with someone is to find a group of like-minded people and spend as much time as you possibly can with that. You know, that being an average of the 5 people you're around, sometimes we look at that like, man, I need to call some friends. But it's just as much focused on who are you going to go spend time around. If you want to focus on something, it's not necessarily just the time you can focus on it, but spend your time around other people that have that same focus, or at least enjoy talking about it. You know, me and Dale talk quite a bit about these things because we're both very interested in it and respect each other's opinion. We're all business owners here, which means we all kind of agree on the things that you enjoy by being a business owner, but we also all understand similar problems that business owners have, right? And that's one of my passions with the syndication company is, hey, these are solutions to my problems, which means they will most likely be solutions to other business owners' problems. Not all of our investors are business owners, but the ones that we connect with the best, the ones that we can really help solve some of their issues are like-minded business owners and like-minded people that we get around. So whether it's partners that you get in business with, doing something yourself and just trying, failing, and continuing to go, to getting around some group that's already doing the thing in real life. You know, we can put books in the comment section or anything like that. I do have a list of books I really love to read and to learn. The books are really depending on who you're talking to, right? We give solutions based on what we perceive, the person that we're talking to needs or is asking for, marketing, the Building a Story brand by Donald Miller. I think there's very few that I've read that come close to that book as far as just how to word things, not specific tactics, just in general, Profit First breaks down accounting into a very simple thing. We've all read Rich Dad, Poor Dad. We've all read the E-Myth. These are timeless books. I feel like that everyone can get something out of, mindset books like The Go-Giver, these are books that I love to read. I like spending time on podcasts, yours, Dale's, like it's not just about rodeo and it's not just about ranch. Like he's talked to me about real estate. He's talked to somebody about being a pickup man or how to make money ranching or he's got just any conversation that comes up that's interesting, so not only is it interesting, but we're going to learn something along the way. And I think staying in those environments is the most important thing that you can do. And I don't think that price has anything to do with it most of the time. It's all about value. You mentioned they're not making any more land, the cash flow of homes, anytime that we can separate the value of something from the dollar or a Bitcoin or whatever we're using as a unit of measure. Anytime that we can look at that, a median home price in 1970 was somewhere around $45,000. It's $325,000 today. If you compare it to anything other than the US dollar, if you compare it to gold, if you compare it to income, if you compare it to percentage of your income, how many days you had to work, you name it, compare it to any other thing, then it's going to be less expensive in the past than it is right now. It's going to be more affordable today than it was in the past. It's confusing when we get into the measurements, right?
I just would like to add something to what you said, Jeremy, which I totally agree. If you hang out with 5 millionaires, you're probably going to be the sixth. But if you hang out with 5 junkies, you're probably going to be the sixth. So at the end of the day, you are a reflection of the 5 people you are actually closer to. And, in real estate, one of the things that changed my life is really, it's not what I want. It's really what you want. What's your problem? How can we help you fix your problem? We're here to find solutions collectively, right? We're a team. And that's how we succeed, because this is a team sport. Even though rodeo is a solo sport, right? You ride it alone, but you have your brothers, your sister, you have this whole camaraderie, this whole team. And that's why you guys succeed, because you support each other. And real estate is exactly the same, right? Entrepreneurship. Look at this. I went on Amazon and I bought it. You know why? Because I like this guy. I support him. He's a great entrepreneur. I like Jeremy, so I'm going to support him. And this is what we do for our team, for our family, right? You put a product out there, you are a heck of an entrepreneur. We're going to support you because we are a family. We build a family, we build roots, and we actually come stronger together. So it's not about us here. We already succeeded. We already have real estate investment. We already have properties. We want to help you guys. I want to send you a message, regardless if you don't buy anything from any one of us. Go out there, make it happen, because you know what? 16 months ago, I was selling a house in Ocala, Florida, 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom, about 1,423 square feet from $139,900. Today, I'm selling the same home for $225,000. And this is historical data. You can research. Last but not least, Dario, I really wanted to leave up to you now. What kind of advices you have for people that are listening to us? You are definitely a winner. We saw your pathway, everything you have done in the rodeo. You are a huge mentor, which I forgot to mention this, but it's huge. Mentorship is something you actually give it away for free, looking for somebody else to be better than you. So you are a huge mentor at Radiator Ranch. You bring a lot of people in, you support people, you motivate people. So tell me a little bit about how do you do that on a daily basis, plus run a business, plus give advice to people and leads by example.
So, first off, it's kind of 3 major things that come to mind, and I'll just kind of walk through them. As far as like a lot of books, I'll listen to one on tape. I listen to podcasts. I've listened to a few of the real estate guys' podcasts, quite a few, to be honest. And that's where I'll get like my real estate knowledge. But then I listen to a lot of Gary Vaynerchuk. He helps me. He's kind of a social media guru as well as an entrepreneur, just mogul. And so that's where I get a lot of my day-to-day. The only thing I really read anymore is the Bible. But those 2 things, Gary Vaynerchuk is probably where I've gotten a lot of my just day-to-day business knowledge. What I would say, like some practical advice for someone out there that's maybe looking to gain financial freedom in the future. I don't have complete financial freedom yet, but I'm on a path that I believe will get me there. And what I've observed is the same thing my granddad did. You find a hustle. Maybe it's just a job. Maybe it's a 9-to-5 job. You find a hustle that will get you a little bit of cash. And once you get, maybe it takes you 90 days to get stored up. Maybe it takes you 9 months. Maybe it takes you 18 months. And then you find somewhere to invest that where it's for instance, real estate, or some sort of asset, like some sort of income producing asset. But for me, it's real estate. And then that will help you with your long term. So my hustle is my company, my t-shirt company, because I appreciate sales. someone told me that if you can sell something, you're never going to go hungry. And that's what in Rich Dad Poor Dad, he even says in there, when someone comes to Robert Kiyosaki and they say, hey, I want to get rich, the first thing, I don't know if you guys remember this in the book, but the first thing he tells that person is go find a reputable direct sales company and learn how sales operates. And he says, most of you won't do it. Well, I did it. I sold vitamins in college and I learned about sales. I love to sell things. And so the sales helped me generate that cash, which I then put in an investment. And Grant Cardone, he says, stay broke. Cash is trash. So I literally sometimes almost stay too broke, putting that money over into like a real estate investment. So the last thing I'll leave you with that I try to live day to day, it's some advice that my preacher gave me. Shoot, it's probably been 7 years ago. But he said, don't ask yourself, is this right or is this wrong? Ask yourself, is this wise? There's going to be a lot of things in your day to day, whether you're talking about life, relationships, investing, whatever it is, that there's going to be things that are not wrong to do. It's not wrong to spend this money going out tonight. It's not wrong to buy this car that I don't need, but is it wise? It's also not wise. So don't ask yourself, is this right or is this wrong? Ask yourself, is this wise? Because that question is going to be what leads you to the day-to-day wise decisions where ultimately you look up and you're 53 and you're like, man, I could retire in 3 years, but maybe I don't want to. I enjoy what I'm doing. So that's what I believe. I'm 34, so I think I'm on the right track, and you guys probably can attest that, every day you're probably like me evaluating, like, am I doing the right thing? So, but I believe I am.
Congratulations, guys. I mean, you're so inspiring to everybody, including me. I mean, I look at you guys and I semi-retired in 2016, and I can tell you right now, it sucks. It sucks. Having breakfast at 10 o'clock in the morning after 2 months, it sucks. So I took my motorcycle, went to Alaska for 30 days. Financial freedom is awesome, right? You work because you want to, because you love what you do, because you're motivated. That's the secret right there. If you want to retire, hey, nothing. I'm not going to retire because I love what I do. But if you want to do it, just do it. But, just follow your heart and do the right thing. Meaning, doing the right thing is doing the wise thing. Why? Because tomorrow, it's uncertain. You only have today. God gave you today. You woke up in the morning, be thankful for what you have and just go for it. Work hard. Do what you love. If you don't love what you do, you're not going to do it right. You're not going to do it well. I watch your show, man, and I laugh. I mean, you're amazing. And, I get inspired by you every day. And Chichi, I mean, come on. How you're not going to love those guys, your brother. So, Jeremy, you and I remember Jeremy brought a friend to Belize that is a teacher. All right. So, and I'm not going to mention names here because I don't want to expose anybody that hasn't given us permission, but he saved his money and he's investing in real estate. And you guys know one of the most underappreciated professions in this country are teachers, right? And one of the most important ones are teachers. So if that guy can do it, anybody can do it, right? Just put your mind, your goal, and your hands on your drive and control yourself. Make sure you invest wisely, as they said. Guys, I'm very proud to have the honor to be here with you guys today. I really appreciate it. Dale, you are the real cowboy, the only and the best cowboy, the good old son. Jeremy, you're a superstar, man. I love you guys. I really appreciate it. Everything you guys do, not only for me, but for the whole investment community and being mentors and guides for all of us. So thank you very much. I really appreciate the time today. God bless you guys and keep up the good work, guys. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks a bunch, Wagner. We appreciate it.